All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Daybreak Live. My name's Krissi. I'm with Positively Osceola, and today I have the very fun opportunity to chat with one of my favorite people. This is Michelle Incandela. She's from Draper Law Office, and today we're going to be talking about what happens, like most people don't know, what to do if they get in an accident or someone's negligence causes damage to their vehicle or to their property or home, and like what do we do next. So Michelle's going to kind of walk us through that process, what to expect, and what we should know and what our rights are. And I think the interesting thing too is to note that Draper Law Office has been around since 1984, and they are a personal injury firm. So, they know exactly what they're doing, and they've been serving our county since 1984. So we're going to set some facts straight today, and hopefully you'll learn just as much as I will, because every time we chat with Michelle, I learn something new. So here we go. Let's make it official. We'll play the video, and then we'll get to chatting with Michelle Incandela of Draper Law. Okay, here we go. All right, once again, welcome back to another episode of Daybreak Live. My name's Krissi with Positively Osceola, and Positively Osceola just wants to bring you news that informs, impacts, and inspires. And today we are going to do just that by chatting with Michelle Incandela of Draper Law Office. We're going to be talking about what to do if you get in an accident, or what our rights are, and setting the facts straight on some of the things, because you and I most of the time we don't know what's going on. We don't know what to do. We don't know what our rights are, or what we could be compensated on. So we're going to chat with Michelle about that. So if you're watching live, pop in the comments, say hey, say good morning, ask questions, give feedback, let us know what you're thinking or what your questions are. We want to know, and I'll pop them up there. And Michelle is going to be just the most educated person you'll ever meet in this situation. So let's bring her on. Hey, Michelle, how's it going?
Good morning, Krissi. Good morning, Osceola. It's going great. Going great. Nice to see you.
You again. Too. Thank you so much for joining us yet again. I love chatting with you and hearing about all of your wisdom about what's going on in the auto injury world or personal injury world. So just give us your enlightened information today. Like, what do we do if we get in an accident? What are our rights? How do we handle this situation?
Well, it's overwhelming. And as you know, my practice specialty is personal injury. And what we do is, as we don't handle property damage claims exclusively, we do, as a courtesy to our clients, we assist them with the property damage claim, because as you can imagine, one of the issues that you have to deal with if you're unfortunate enough to be involved in an accident is the damage to the vehicle. And it is a frustrating process at best. It's, of course, something that is secondary to injuries. Obviously, the most important thing is being okay and getting better and healing. But when the dust clears, so to speak, and you're getting a handle on any injuries, if there are any, the next step is what happens with my car. Because it can be a situation where your car is not operable, or maybe it's totaled. And one of the most frustrating calls that we get, or the most common calls we get, are people who are just absolutely frustrated with trying to get the property damage portion of their claim resolved. So I wanted to give a couple of tips today on, what people can do in those situations.
Okay, great. Because I was just about to ask, how do we know what's covered and what's not?
Right. So first, there's so many different scenarios, and we're time limited here, but a couple of the most common problems are, I need to get a rental car because I don't have a vehicle, and I'm fighting with the adjuster because my car is a total loss, and they're saying it's not worth very much. So first things first, one of the first things that you want to do following an accident is make sure that it's reported to your insurance company. And you want to try to reach out to the at-fault party, the person who caused the accident, their insurance company, and get a claim number and ask who the property damage adjuster is. Because what should happen afterwards is that a property damage adjuster should be in contact with you, and you should let them know where the vehicle is, what kind of condition the vehicle's in, where they can come and send an appraiser to give an estimate on the extent of the damage to the vehicle. And in the process also set up a rental car for you. And I know that that's sometimes very difficult. People don't know to ask for it. The adjusters don't typically offer it. You have to know to tell the adjuster that you need one while the car is being repaired, or if your car is not operable at that time.
You have to tell the adjuster that you need a rental
Yeah.
car.
Well, and it also depends, you have a lot of people, I shouldn't say most people, but sometimes you have the option of putting the property damage through your own insurance company. And sometimes you have to, if you have that coverage, if you purchase that coverage, if, for example, it's a hit and run, or, the other person doesn't have insurance and you have to put it through your own. And usually your own companies are a little better about offering you the rental car and telling you what you purchased through your own policy. But when you're dealing with the other side, when you're dealing with the person who caused the accident, their insurance company, it's usually a little more difficult. And I always tell everybody, remember, the adjusters are very nice people, but they're not your friend. Their interest is in protecting their client and the insurance company and not you. So always remember that. Nice people, but again, adverse interest. So they're not going to volunteer all of the things that they have available. You really do kind of have to know what you're looking for and ask the questions and ask them for the rental cars. But they should be working with you to secure a rental car while your vehicle's being evaluated, or certainly if your vehicle is going to be repaired. And then let's assume that, you have an adjuster who comes and you say, hey, my car is in my driveway. It was towed here and it's not operable. And I need somebody to come and look at it to get it repaired because I don't have a car. And they eventually will send somebody out there. And I say eventually because right now, a huge problem is they don't have enough adjusters, and people are waiting a really long time just to have somebody come and evaluate the extent of the damage to the vehicle.
That's what I was going to ask. What if they're on the side of the road somewhere?
Well, usually right after this isn't something that usually happens right after the accident. Right after the accident, if the vehicles are disabled, they're generally towed from the scene to, depending on the severity, a different location. I mean, certainly after an accident, you want to make sure that your vehicle is moved safely off the roadway. The property damage evaluation usually takes place, as soon as the next day if you can reach an adjuster, but you want to try to report the claim as quickly as possible. That being said, we also recommend that you don't give statements to the other person's adjusters. You're under no obligation to give a recorded statement to that adjuster about anything. So you do want to get the car fixed. You do want to report the claim and say, I need a rental car. This accident wasn't my fault and you guys have to fix this. But we always recommend that you speak to an attorney before giving statements to the insurance companies. You do have an obligation to give a statement to your own insurance company, but again, we advise that you talk to an expert first and know your rights and before you do that. But I'm off the topic. So property damage. So one of the things that can happen is an adjuster or an appraiser will come, look at the vehicle and say, listen, your 1997 Honda is going to cost $8,000 to repair. And when they tell the property damage adjuster that, the property damage adjuster is going to say, we're not going to repair your vehicle because the cost of the repairs is more than what the vehicle is worth. It's deemed a total loss. And in that instance, they're going to pay you for the value of the vehicle. And this is where there's usually a lot of heated conversations and a lot of frustration, because there's a process that the adjusters are going to use to come to a figure for what they're going to give you for that vehicle. And some of the things that you can do to prepare for that process and prepare for that conversation with the adjuster is go online and start searching for comparable vehicles that are very, very similar to yours in make, mileage, trim, and condition. So that the adjuster, a lot of them use a company, a CCC1, which is an evaluation company. you give them the information on the VIN number and the vehicle, and they pop back a figure. And that's a lot of times what the adjusters will use. And they'll say, here's the evaluation. First, when the adjuster comes back and says, this is how much money we're going to offer you for this vehicle, you need to ask them, can you please send me the evaluation that you use, so that you can look at what they are basing it on and make sure that they have the information correct. Make sure that it's the correct condition. Make sure that it's the correct trim options, that they have all the options that your car had, that the mileage is correct, that they're really doing an evaluation of the appropriate, condition and specifications of your vehicle. And then you want to also have that research done where you have comps that you've done, you've looked online and found, when I say a comp, another vehicle that's listed for sale that's very, very similar to yours. So you can see how much would it cost me to get the same exact vehicle. And the tricky part is it's really harder than you would think to find a vehicle very similar to yours, because you'll find one that's maybe the year earlier, or that has more miles, or this one has less miles, or that one has leather seats and mine doesn't. So you want to get it. Yeah, it's hard. So you want to get as close as possible. And I say get as many as you can, but just keep a little kind of list on the side and note the differences. This is a year older than mine and it doesn't have leather seats. This is the same vehicle as mine, but it has more mileage. So whatever the differences are, kind of point those out so that you get a sense for what your own vehicle's worth. Look at the Kelley Blue Book values, look on Edmunds, kind of get an idea. Because it's very difficult by just saying to the adjuster, most people just, well, I can't get a car for that. You have to give me more money. That is not a convincing argument. The property adjuster is not going to say, oh, well, okay, let me give you more money. No. But if you have made any significant improvements to the vehicle also, so, hey, I just put a new transmission in 6 months ago. That's something. Hold your receipts. Always hold. I tell everybody, when you buy something for your car, when you make an improvement to your car, not maintenance, because they don't care if you got an oil change 30 days ago, that's gone. But if you just bought brand new tires 2 weeks ago, if you just replaced your transmission, if you did some sort of a ridiculous upgrade to your stereo system, those are things where you want to show the adjuster those receipts and say, look, my vehicle's different. It has these options. But it can be a very frustrating process. Because it is, like I said, most people just get frustrated and they say, well, you have to give me more money, but they don't do the research and they don't find out the things about their own vehicle that makes it, that they might be able to use with an adjuster to persuade them to increase their prices. They will negotiate somewhat, but it is a frustrating process. And the way that it works is that usually when the vehicle's a total loss, you never quite end up in the same place that you were before. So it's not really, you're not really going to end up in that same position that you were, but you want to get as close as possible, and you want to be as educated as possible and know about the process, so that when you come to the table and discuss it with the adjuster, if you're doing it on your own, then you have at least a better chance of getting them to reevaluate and give you the maximum, amount that you can get.
Yeah. So there are small things that you can do to educate yourself to make sure that you're getting what you should be getting.
Right.
And it gives you a better foot to stand on for an argument.
It does. Yeah. And it's usually the first time that people start to kind of come out of, if they're, our clients that, get injured in accidents and they're so worried about getting better and getting, they're out of the hospital and they have these injuries that they're dealing with. And then it's like, oh, wow, I also have to deal with a car. And it's just, insult to injury. But it's a frustrating process. Be prepared, like I said, to have to kind of really fight for that. I mean, we handle it as a courtesy for our clients, but a lot of people, there's property damage accidents and people fortunately aren't injured and they still have to deal with the property damage part of that claim because there's still somebody that caused damage to their vehicle. So, educate yourself, do some internet research on the cars, learn a little bit about the process of evaluating how insurance companies evaluate property damage claims and motor vehicle accidents. We also have a lot of information on our website. We have a lot of blogs that are just devoted to property damage that can give you some tips on how to deal with, adjusters and what to do in that instance. So definitely do your research.
Yeah, no, that seems like it's very important work that you need to be doing before. Okay, so step 1, make sure you're safe, make sure you're healthy, get yourself checked out. Number 2, the adjuster is going to come, they're going to handle all that stuff eventually. Number 3,
after you report the claim.
Yes, after you do all the paperwork, and then you go into the options of getting the vehicle covered or whatever the damage is.
Right. Then you start dealing with the property damage adjuster. And just that reminder to everybody, always remember to report the claim to your own insurance company. You're obligated to do that. And you want to make sure that you do, as soon as you're able to following an accident.
Yes. Okay. And just can you tell the viewers what Draper Law Office can do in instances like this and how they can help?
Right. So I'm always happy to field questions, and we do get a lot of questions from people who sometimes call them. I don't necessarily handle property damage claims on their own. We help people who have been involved in accidents, who are injured, or have family members who are injured. But we handle the property damage as a courtesy when we have a claim for someone's injuries. We do that as part of our handling of the entire matter. But we're happy to always field questions for people who have just property damage claims on their own. We don't necessarily handle that, but I can generally get them to the right place or direct them on where they can get information that would be helpful to them. But we've been doing personal injury law for, Charlie's been here since 1984, and I've been practicing here since I think 2001, and
Wow.
in New York starting in 1997, and that's all we do is personal injury.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you are more than capable. The office is more than capable. So this is a team that you want to work with. They've been in Central Florida in Osceola County for what seems like forever, and they know what they're doing. So ask questions, like cover yourself and make sure that you get the information that you need, because we have a team of people who are here to help, and they are amazing. And obviously, you can just hear the wisdom that she's like pouring onto us. Like, make sure you do all these things, because it's not stuff that we normally think about. It's not stuff that we know.
No, it's not. And it's also a time when, there's so much stress going on in someone's life. It's really traumatic. I mean, even people who are involved in accidents that aren't injured, it's a traumatic experience. And when even if you're just dealing with property damage, so reach out to us. We're experts in this area, and we're going to help any way that we can.
You're the best, Michelle.
Thank you so much, Krissi. You guys are too.
Oh, stop. No, seriously. Like, every time we chat, I learn something new. I'm like taking mental notes also. So I know that if I ever get in an accident or have something, I'm going to literally message you or call you.
We will be here to help. That's when we love Osceola, and I love my clients, and I love this area, and we really are so appreciative that you guys let us, educate people and kind of give them a little bit of a heads up about what to expect, and at least that they know where they can come for, for help and for answers, because it's so important. Because we really do. We love this community. Isn't Osceola the best? Osceola's the best, right?
I know.
Really
and I'm so happy to be a part of it.
Me too.
All right. Any final thoughts for our viewers today?
I want them to have a wonderful day.
Yay, me too.
Yeah.
It's a great day. It's really hot. Stay cool, everyone.
Stay cool, stay safe, and be happy.
Exactly. Yes. Okay, Michelle, thank you. As always, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Krissi. Bye, Osceola. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody. Have a great rest of your day.